This is David with Corel Training.
This is Cassie Green from Apparelist.
This is Gordon and Firemark from the Entertainment Law Update.
And you're listening to
Two Regular Guys podcast.
Hosted by Terry Combs RG, Regular Guy, and Aaron Montgomery.
The place to be for industry news.
the best dad jokes on earth, along with relevant topics to apparel decorating.
Prepare for the ride.
All right, welcome into the show. It is Friday, July 26, 2024. I'm Terry Combs, and you can find me at terrycombs.com.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me at Our Success Group. And my mission is to inspire you to fall deeper in love with your business. And Terry, this is our conversation today with Amanda with Across the Horizon Travel. She's going to be joining us here to talking about incorporating retreats into your business plan. And she specializes in international retreats. So if you don't love going overseas and enjoying some away time from the office, I don't know how else you're going to fall in love with your business. This is going to be an awesome conversation today. Amanda's a friend of mine that I've been able to meet here locally. And so I always love talking to her. So I wanted to introduce her to our world here, Terry.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to the show today. So everyone, make sure you stay till the very end and get your helping of the secret sauce. Aaron is going to be sharing his top 3 video content ideas where you don't even have to show your face. I'm sure that the people will be interested in that. Stay till the end.
And people are going, Aaron, why don't you do that more often? Oh. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to sharing that secret sauce. But today, Terry, we've got, I don't know why I put that word in there, but we've got Cassie Green from the Apparelist joining us here to bring us the news. Lots of stuff happening in the build up to Printing United here in a couple of, I don't even want to say the word, weeks-ish, months, maybe. But anyhow, lots of really cool stuff happening out there for them. And then, Cassie's always got her finger on the pulse of the news. So we're excited to welcome her in. Are you ready to hit that, Terry?
Absolutely. Let's hear from Cassie.
Hey everybody, yeah, Aaron, I don't know why you have to say it like that either, because that stresses me out, but hey, it's going to be great at the expo. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, but first I'm going to start with a couple big picture industry headlines. So first headline for everybody today, Better Cotton to launch fund aimed at gender equality and sustainability. So Better Cotton is a sustainability initiative that helps cotton communities survive and thrive while protecting and restoring the environment. So they partnered up with investment firm FS Impact Finance to sign a memorandum of understanding to develop and launch a fund directed at smallholder farms in the cotton sector. So according to Better Cotton, the fund will be piloted in India and aims to help incentivize cotton farming communities to invest in field level work related to gender equality and climate resilience. The fund intends to do so by eliminating traditional financial barriers. There's a lot there, right? And a lot of legal jargon and terms. So really encourage all of you to read that headline. It's actually really interesting and a really cool initiative. Second headline for everybody today, Custom Ink hires former Realtor.com CEO David Doctorow. So Custom Ink is an online provider of custom wearables and other swag. Most of you probably know that, but we got to say it anyway. They named the former Realtor.com CEO David Doctorow as the company's new CEO. Doctorow will join the company's board of directors in August, and co-founder and outgoing CEO Mark Katz will remain chairman of the board. In his 30-plus year career, Doctorow has helped grow technology businesses in travel, e-commerce, and real estate, of course, being the former CEO of Realtor.com. In that role, he led the company to a record revenue, profit, and consumer satisfaction. Now, this is obviously big news that comes 7 months after Custom Ink announced it would close its Flower Mound, Texas production facility. So kind of excited to see what's going to happen there. And finally, as promised, I told all of you we're going to talk a little bit about Printing United Expo today. Apparel Zone brings reimagined decorating education to Printing United Expo 2024. Built on the momentum of the past several years, this year's Apparel Zone, powered by Apparelist Live, is reimagined to take experiential learning and hands-on education to the next level. The zone will feature individual branded training areas specialized by technology, apparelist live theater presentations, and more. Best part that I'm most excited about, this will all have an old world Vegas theme and feel to it. Throughout the 3 days of the expo, attendees can visit this zone and learn how to utilize and implement different technologies into their businesses during specific hands-on training sessions. This will, of course, include screen printing, embroidery, heat applied graphics, sublimation, DTG, and DTF printing. Also reimagined this year is the Future State Theater, which will now be part of the Apparelist Live experience. It's now called the Apparelist Live Theater. It will still showcase educational presentations on topics designed to help decorators run their businesses successfully. But this year we are incorporating it directly into the apparel zone for easy accessibility, so you can kind of sit down, listen to a presentation, and then move into those hands-on live training sessions. That old world Vegas theme that I mentioned, all of the sponsors in that area are creating a really cool Vegas experience. Some of them are doing like old school wedding chapels and poker games and things like that. So it's going to be a really fun way to learn about apparel decorating. So that's everything I have today. Looking forward to seeing you all in a few weeks.
All right.
All right. Well, that's interesting news. And, Aaron, I have a meeting in 2 hours about the apparel zone because Equipment Zone and Epson are doing the DTG section there. And
Cool.
we're having a meeting about what our theme is going to be for our storefront.
Well,
So
I just heard you might want to lean into that old school Vegas feel.
oh yeah, absolutely. They're gonna have an old Cadillac there, and we just have to kind of decide what our art's going to be, because they're going to look like storefronts, and you're going to walk through the doors, and
Very cool.
so,
Wow.
yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun, and man, great education. I love the fact that they're moving the theater into that area as well, because as you recall, Aaron, last year theater was kind of tucked into the corner, and people had a little trouble seeing it. And the podcast area is also going to be in that area as well. So
very cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I apologize to Cassie for making her nervous, but it is coming quick. So we just all get ready. Excited stuff. And other interesting news too. The custom ink thing, I actually read that story the other day when I saw it in my email, and I was like, oh, interesting. Because like she mentioned, okay, this is coming off of closing a production facility. So, where are they at? And, maybe this gentleman can resurrect a little bit there for him. So all right.
Yeah, a little new blood at the top, it looks like. So.
Yep, sounds like it for sure. All right, well, Terry, the next thing that people show up for, I know, is the dad joke. So are you ready for the dad joke?
I'm ready to hear a dad joke.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, good. Here we go. Hey, Terry, so did you know that I gave away all of my dead batteries today?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, completely free of charge.
And that is a dad joke. See, we don't have Eric here to say you free of charge, battery charge.
Yeah, I thought about typing out a banner, but I knew I couldn't deliver and do the banner up there and all that kind of fun stuff. So, and then how I know it's a good dad joke, Terry? When I feel like I need to apologize afterwards.
Right. You've got to be running out of dad jokes that you stole out of that book that your friend's house in Myrtle Beach.
I know. I have to call him back and say, hey, can you send me like 3 more? I'm going to need a couple more. Give me your best.
All right, Aaron, before we dive in, we want to thank everybody for checking out the Two Regular Guys podcast. Again, we still need your voices. Cassie was in the intro of this one, today's show. We would love to have the regulators participate in our show intros. Go to decorators.ink/intro. Just read a few sentences and be a part of our show. We are always looking for new guests. So if you or anyone would like to join us, go to calendly.com/2. the number 2, regular guys to book a future episode, or email us at info@tworegularguys.com with your show ideas. If you are listening to the podcast version of the show, we would appreciate you sharing the Two Regular Guys podcast with all of your industry friends so they can become regulators too. And we would appreciate you giving us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcast, YouTube Podcast, wherever you do your podcast listening, we are there. And if you're watching us live, please join in with your comments and questions today.
Awesome. Yeah, can't wait. Speaking of comments, a little follow-up to the dad joke there from Ramona. She says, now that was shocking. Or not. So all right. I love the spirit there, Ramona. Good. Okay. Well, Terry, are you ready to bring our guest in here?
I am.
Cool, I don't know. Maybe I'm itching to travel, so that's why I'm so excited about this. But let's do it. All right. So, welcoming into the stage here, Amanda. Hello, Amanda. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hey, how are you?
We are doing great. So, Amanda, we typically skip the canned bios, right? It's like, okay, you're only perfect twice when you write your bio and when you're born, right? That type of thing, or resume, I guess. So perfect 3 times. So just start us off. As I mentioned, you and I have had a chance to meet in person, and I always love our conversations together. But just tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey to becoming this international retreat guru.
Yes, of course. So hi, everyone. And thank you so much, Aaron and Terry, for having me here on the show. I'm super excited to be here today. So I'm ready to share my knowledge and expertise with all of you. And again, my name is Amanda Hietter. I know it looks like Hietter, but it's Hietter.
I'm glad I didn't try it. I would have missed it.
I am the CEO and owner of Across the Horizon Travel, located in the St. Louis, Missouri area. I have 2 wonderful children, one of them is 21. She just became drinking age, so she's my little travel buddy everywhere we go.
Nice.
And my 16-year-old son, and they both just love traveling right along with me.
Wow.
So I fell in love with travel at the age of 5 because my parents always took us on one big trip a year as a family. And I always just had so much fun at every single one of these trips. So my specialties in the travel industry consist of international, romance, and group travel. So in the group travel niche itself, I actually assist retreat leaders with planning international retreats so they can get closer to their clientele and have deeper connections while also enjoying the perks of staying in, of course, luxurious accommodations in an environment that's really relaxing.
Nice. Okay.
I love it. So, when I was living in Kansas City, running a fairly large production facility, we would go on a management retreat once a year and kind of get ourselves motivated again to take on another year. We never went internationally. I don't even think we thought that was an option for us, but I always got so much out of it. So when you're planning retreats, who are you planning a retreat for? A management group like I used to do? Top customers, the entire company? Who's going on these retreats?
Yeah. So typically I'm working with retreat leaders in the industries of the wellness industry, business coaches, and inspirational speakers. But recently I've been diving into working with CEOs and owners of small businesses to assist them with increasing production within their sales force. Okay. And so how do we do that? Of course, by offering incentive trips to their sales team to entice the sales team to reach their sales goals. I mean, who doesn't love being able to travel, right? So when an employee reaches their goal, they will receive a complimentary trip to go on a retreat with the company and enjoy a getaway with their spouse while also growing their mindset on how they can continue to reach their goals the following year. So I actually personally work with the retreat leader to curate an itinerary or a curriculum for the retreat itself, if that's not something they've ever thought of before.
Interesting. Well, okay, I'm going to jump off script real quick, but because Terry said something that I stood out to me, that when they were doing their programs at that company in Kansas City, like they didn't even think that international travel was possible. So before we kind of get more into that, like talk to us about that. Is it it's obviously you're working with folks, so it's possible. What does that look like compared to, okay, I'm just going to go a couple hours up the street and, lock ourselves in a hotel room kind of thing?
Right. So honestly, everyone loves the idea of sitting at the beach and seeing those turquoise blue waters. It's a little bit more enticing. And when you factor in how much you're paying, let's just say you're taking a trip to Florida and you're going to stay, in a hotel by the beach.
Sure.
When you factor in your food, your drinks, all the things with that, it ends up being almost the same as if you stayed like in an all-inclusive resort where all of your food and drinks are included. Then also retreat leaders have to think of the fact that some people are gluten-free, they have intolerances, some of them have disabilities, so you have to make sure that maybe they're on a certain floor or level of the room or have a certain room category. All of those things with the all-inclusive resorts, that's taken care of for you, and that takes one thing out of like the cost price, which is nice. So a lot of people really like that. And there's multiple restaurants to choose from. There's lots of activities. So you don't have to feel like you're always providing activities for them throughout the whole time, because there's plenty of things to do at an all-inclusive resort.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aaron, I have a story.
No way.
But it's kind of interesting because my son, Mike, who lives in Austin, Texas, he is vice president for Central States in sales for his company. And he kind of inherited a retreat for all the sales reps from the Central States. And it was in Nashville. And it was already planned when he was hired. So, but he called me and said, Dad, I could have taken all these guys to Punta Cana for less than what it's going to cost to go to Nashville. And he goes, I even pitched it, but they said, everything's already planned. It's too late. But he said, next year, we're going to do that. We're going to go somewhere else so that people can get away, relax, and we'll have our sessions, but also have some beach time. So Aaron, you've never heard that story because it just happened like 2 weeks ago.
There you go. There you go. Okay. Well, you got to connect Mike with Amanda there, and they'll get it all
exactly.
away.
I love that.
Yeah, for sure. So, and I love that too, because I think sometimes, you get into this mindset, okay, got to take the trip. And then you get into all the details. Like you said, I got to plan this and got to make sure there's activities and, take care of all the disability situation, the food situation, that kind of stuff. I think that takes people away from the goal of this, right? It's a reward. It's an opportunity to bond, to get closer together. So I think for the CEOs, the leaders that are looking to do something like this, you got to remember what your goal is. And then, okay, now let me turn it over to an expert, right? Because you and I have had several conversations about this, Amanda, and every single time I learn something and then I go, I don't want to, it's not that I don't want to know that, but I don't want to have to be worried about that. I want to stick with my zone of greatness.
Right.
So I know another question that I asked you along our conversations was, okay, well, where are we going to go? What are some popular places? And, the thing I loved is you then also explained why.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So most of my retreat leaders are usually looking to get away to the Caribbean because you have the beautiful waters. A lot of the all-inclusives are there. Yeah. So it tends to usually be more cost effective. The flight time is much less lengthy than traveling over to Europe or going, over to Asia or something like that. And then you get the wonderful views of the beach. Who doesn't love that? That's just a way to be able to just revitalize, and just those blue waters just give you that peace and calm. Yeah. So the typical destinations I send my retreat leaders to are Mexico. That one is super close, in the same time zone. If you're in the central time zone, usually, it's an hour ahead or the same time. Aruba is another great one. Dominican Republic, Jamaica, and then tons of other smaller island destinations as well. I usually will work with my retreat leader and find out where they want to go. And then obviously we have, I always say investment amount. I don't use the word budget of what they're looking for. And then that kind of determines the destination of where they can go with their clientele or with their employees, whatever they're looking to do.
Okay. All right.
Very good.
And I love that, again, okay, we want to go international. We want to get away, kind of get to these exotic locations because of that, just the how that feels special.
Yeah.
But then you're thinking about, but if we're traveling over here, time zones, and so you're going to have a day on each side for people to recover or whatnot, the expense of it all, I mean, I think those are some really smart things that, again, I wasn't thinking about and probably don't want to think about. So, yeah.
Well,
All right, Terry. Well, what else do you got for Amanda here?
Let's talk about how much time is required for a retreat. In other words, when should we start planning? And let me ask you this also: is the first question you ask, does everybody already have a passport?
Usually I do ask that when I'm working with the retreat leader, because I'm working with a person that's the primary person. Obviously, we're going to be like, hey, we're going to Mexico. You need to make sure that all of your employees or all of your clientele have their passports. And this is where another thing as a travel agent, I come into play, where I leave the logistics to me. So anytime someone's interested in signing up for a retreat, I say, pass the information off to me so you don't have to be the middleman any longer. They know they want to attend the retreat with you. I will walk them through all the basics of even getting a passport. That's another thing I do as a travel agent is some people go, I don't even know where to start. That's where I start. I start at the very beginning. Let's get your passport. Usually passports take 8 to 10 weeks to get. If you're doing just the regular, if you want an expedited, it can be about 4 to 8 weeks. So depending on when the retreat is, and back to your original question. So I do recommend to start planning about a year to a year and a half out. So they'll have plenty of time to get their passport. There's a lot of behind the scenes logistics that come into play that need to be addressed before we can even begin marketing the retreat. So I always say that if you already have a training curriculum or a program that you're already currently using in your industry, you can use that same information or curriculum and micro scale it down into a 3 to 5 day retreat with 1 to 2 sessions a day. What's also really cool is that when a retreat leader works with me, now take note of this, whoever's watching, he or she will receive complimentary accommodations as long as you meet a minimum threshold of attendees. So typically that's usually about 10 rooms booked when you're doing an international retreat. So that's a lot of my retreat leaders love that. They're going to be able to travel to an exotic destination for free. Obviously, your flights you're going to have to pay for, but your stay, which is the big bulk of that price, that's complimentary for you because you're putting together this retreat. Aaron and I have actually had these discussions.
Yeah, no, it's so cool. I think, again, as somebody that, so you've got employees, you've got, situation where Terry, you talked about like your top customers, right? Rewarding that. The gentleman that helps us close out the end of our show, Pete Lovelace, did a presentation once, and they talked. Was it Aruba? Do you remember, Terry? I think it was Aruba.
I think it was Aruba.
He took his team and he showed pictures of that and what they were able to build off of that, right? Obviously, yeah, having fun and doing all that stuff, but as a business, you get so much out of this, right? So if you just give it a little bit of forethought and then pass it off to the right people, it can be a pretty darn cool experience. So,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And the all-inclusive thing, I mean, that is the way to go. My twin sons, for 10 years, every year we would go to the Caribbean for my birthday, and 3 guys going to an all-inclusive. Every time we'd hang up the phone after we made our arrangements, my son Chris would say, "Oh, they're losing money on this deal."
Yeah.
And we're going to Cabo 4 weeks from now. All my kids are going to the Dominican for my birthday this fall. So
nice.
We always do all inclusives.
Yeah.
I just got back from the Dominican. We had so much fun, me and my kids. Loved it.
One of my sons is there right now as we speak.
Wonderful. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. Let's say, Amanda, you've got me interested, right? You got the wheels spinning. I want to think about this. Can you just walk us through, take some of the fear away from us? What's the process that we would really use to kind of get this ball rolling?
Okay. So I have an 8-step process, and I'm going to walk you guys through that 8 steps of how that all works from beginning to end. So I usually start with step 1. Of course, we want to start with the first step, and that is the discovery call. So I actually get with the retreat leader and I go over all the logistics. Where do you want to go? When do you want to have the retreat? What are you looking to accomplish? How many potential attendees are you wanting to have? How long do you want to have your retreat for? Et cetera, et cetera. There's lots of questions. Those are just some of the very basics. Step 2, after we've narrowed all those things down, I begin the process of looking for that perfect location in the destination that you're wanting. Step 3, we work with the resort to put together a contract to lock in a group block for the dates requested. So I also discuss with the resort the specific needs of my retreat leaders. Some of them will need a conference room because they're going to have a couple different sessions each day. You may want to have a private area for a dinner for all of your attendees. A lot of my attendees love having a welcome cocktail hour where you can have an icebreaker session, because sometimes people don't know each other if it's your clientele. Now, obviously, if it's employees, it's a way for them to all say, hey, it's nice to see you. We're having fun. We're here in paradise. Sometimes people like to do yoga on the beach. I can set up a session for that. All kinds of things. So these additional costs are usually added to that total cost of the retreat. So the attendees don't even know that that is built into the price. Step 4, we start putting together the itinerary. Some of my retreat leaders really don't know where to start. So I actually work very closely with the retreat leader on this as well. Step 5, marketing. That's very important. So as the retreat leader, you need to start sharing this retreat with others. And usually this process starts about 8 to 10 months before the travel date. You want to start getting people interested. You may want to create a landing page on your website to collect information to forward on to me. And I can walk you through all of those marketing steps, as I do have a background in marketing as well. Step 6, start signing up your clients. So I typically handle all of the logistics. So your main focus as the retreat leader is putting together the itinerary and marketing. So once these clients are starting to get signed up, that's where I come into play. I will do all of the flights. You may have people all the way up in Seattle, down in Florida, St. Louis. You don't want to deal with all of that. That's where I come into play. I help with booking the accommodations. Airport transfers, that's super important. You want to make sure everybody's coming in at different times. You want to make sure they're all getting to the resort. Traveler's insurance, that's super important as well. A lot of people don't know when you leave the country, your health insurance is no longer applicable. So traveler's insurance is super important to have, because if you get sick, you fall and break a leg, which when I was in Dominican, I saw a lady actually fell and broke her arm and her leg. And I was wondering, I wonder if she has traveler's insurance, because that might be kind of costly.
Here's my card.
Yeah. And then I also help with getting ideas for goodie bags, because a lot of these, your clientele or your employees, if it's, a incentive trip or rewards trip, you want to have some kind of goodie bags in their rooms whenever they check into their room. That's something that's really exciting for them. And that's just a little extra perk. Nice. Step 7, you want to prepare for travel. So that's pretty important. So I come into play with this as well. So I typically will send each attendee a package in the mail. Obviously, I'll email it as well, but I like to send those packages in the mail. Who doesn't love some snail mail with some goodies? And I'll have all the details. I will have their flight information, their accommodations information, who to look for their airport transfers, their full itinerary that's been created by the retreat leader. And I typically will send that out about a month to a month and a half before travel. So that gives me a chance, if anyone has questions, they can come back to me. And then step 8, enjoy your retreat. So I will also connect the retreat leader with the coordinator that is actually on site there in destination. That will ensure that the retreat leader's desires are handled during the duration of the retreat. Or there's the option of having me come in as well, and I can actually be there on site too. Some of my retreat leaders like to have me there because I have been there since day one. So that's something we can discuss as well.
Awesome. Wow.
Interesting. When you mentioned the icebreaker, so in today's world of remote work, I'm sure a lot of these events that you have, these people only know each other from Zoom.
Right.
They've never shaken hands with them or talked to them face to face. So I totally get having that little get together to start with, to get a name and a face together.
Yeah. Yes.
Our show producer Eric, who's not here yet, one of his coworkers, they've never met in person. I've met her several times. I don't know. Have you met Lisa before, Terry? I can't remember if you had it. Anyhow, I've met her several times, and so I was rubbed that in Eric's face. Yeah, I've met your coworker. You haven't.
I don't think I have either.
All right. Well, this is really good stuff. Amanda, we're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to talk real quick about a program that my wife and I put together, and then we'll come back and we've got some more really good stuff to cover. Hopefully everybody's as excited as I am right now. So I got to push buttons here too. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Kylene.
And I'm Aaron from our Success Group.
We understand that feeling of knowing something is holding you back.
Are you watching others succeed and wondering what they have that you don't? There's a secret locked away inside of each of us, yet we never think about fixing it because it has to be something external from ourselves. It is the limiting belief that everyone wants to just push aside and try to hustle and grind harder to get there. But the truth is, those limiting beliefs are keeping you from asking for help, from taking the next step, or doing the action needed to move your business forward.
The sooner you can identify what's holding you back, the sooner you will start achieving your goals. We make sure to provide a safe environment, free of judgment and full of support as you go through this process. We hope you make this investment in yourself and unlock your potential so you can find more meaning and success in your life.
All right. Well, if you guys want to go check that out, I wanted to share that because we've had that out at an introductory price here for, I don't know, a month or so. At the end of this month, which is next week, I know that's scary. That introductory price goes away. So this is your opportunity. Once you have purchased the program, you're in it and it's yours for life. And you've got all that support that you need to rewrite those stories that are holding you back from what you need there. So check that out, osg.link/unlock.
Awesome.
All right, Jerry.
Well, so Amanda, I'm sure you have all different kinds of groups that you're dealing with. How do you tailor a retreat to meet those unique needs of all these different groups?
So this is where the discovery call comes into play, where I meet with each retreat leader. So typically I have about a 30-minute phone call. Sometimes it can go longer, or I do an in-person meeting if they're local. And I have a long list of questions like we had talked about in the first half of the show.
Yeah.
And then I always make sure to ask each of the clients, whenever they're sending the clients to me, or the travelers or employees or whatever it is, if they have any disabilities or if they have any food allergies, if they have special diets that I need to be aware of, so that I can make sure to alert the resort and the restaurant staff that is there in destination.
Okay. All right. So it's really, you've got a program, you've got a structure, but that structure allows you to kind of, again, meet the needs, because we've talked about several different, from actual, wellness style retreats, like you talked about, to those types of things. But then, working with CEOs to take their team and do some team bonding or sales team scenarios. I still think, an opportunity to reward your customers could be a really cool incentive to,
yeah.
I think we don't understand how important our top customers are to us. 80% of all of our income comes from the top 20% of our customers. So if you can make them kind of like lifers, it's worth those kinds of investments. And, it sounds like you structure this in such a way that, maybe you're covering, maybe as the company, you're covering part of it, and you let them cover part of it, but they're getting a discounted vacation kind of on you. And you can have a few things to, so they have activities, so they don't have to worry about it, but then you can let them do their own thing. And anyhow, that's where my brain goes. It's just all the different opportunities that are there.
For sure.
Yeah. So, Amanda, I know another thing that has come up for people when I've talked to them about traveling internationally and stuff like that is there can be a safety concern, right? And so the safety and well-being of folks, unfortunately, I think wherever you go, whether that's internationally or locally, things can happen. But these remote or maybe little unfamiliar locations to some of us that are kind of more U.S. locked here, how do you kind of address that?
So I never tell my clients that I can completely ensure the safety of anyone.
Yeah.
But one thing I do for them is I prepare them by having a conversation about travel smarts. So for example, I live in St. Louis. St. Louis is a pretty dangerous city. So you wouldn't go walking around downtown St. Louis in the middle of the night being half inebriated and not expect something bad to happen. So I always say just be smart about your surroundings when you're out and about and make sure to stay alert. And then I always have my clients take out traveler's insurance. So that covers them if they receive any injuries, as most people, again, like I said before, they don't know that you no longer have that health insurance coverage once you leave the US. And so this covers you if you get sick, if you fall down, break a bone, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've traveled internationally plenty of times, and I don't think thank goodness nothing major has happened to me, but I don't think I have done that before. Maybe I don't know, but yeah, that's something I was unaware of. So it's pretty interesting.
And Amanda, of course, you also don't have to leave the resort if you choose not to. Everything's there, and so it's not like people can just walk in off the street. And
that is so true. That is so true. So in regards to that, a lot of people get worried about the fact that, oh my gosh, what if somebody can just like walk on the resort? So they do have a lot of security at these all-inclusives. And then when from the street itself, it's usually gated. So anytime that I've arrived at an all-inclusive, I'm arriving via my airport transfer or from an excursion or whatever it is, they're going to check and make sure your name is on the list. And then they want to see a copy of your ID, your passport, whatever it is, to make sure you are the person you say you are. Now, when it comes to the beach side, they have security that's out there. So if anyone's walking the beach, because the beach technically still is a public access, they do have a lot of security that are making sure, because a lot of these resorts have wristbands where it'll say that you're staying at like the Iberostar. They're going to be making sure that there's not just some random person walking up on the property.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and let me ask you another question that we hadn't talked about before. But what about excursions? Do you help with that as well? It's kind of nice to be able to go out and snorkel or something like that.
Yeah, so that is actually another big thing that I do offer. So for retreat leaders, since we're talking about that, I can actually work with a retreat leader. Let's just say they're like, okay, we want to go out and do a snorkeling excursion and, hang out on a catamaran boat throughout the day. So I have reputable tour operators that I work with that will pick them up as a group in a big bus, take them to the excursion. They'll have tons of fun throughout the day and then bring them back to the resort. And I also do that for my clientele all the time, where it's just, a family or a couple where I will send them a link and they can go, okay, I like this excursion, I want to do it on this day. And I help them with booking those as well.
It kind of breaks up the trip to be able to do something like that. It's a lot of fun. But so speaking of the retreat leaders, though, how closely do you work with these leaders throughout the entire year and a half process?
Yeah. So I work very, very closely with my retreat leaders. So I pretty much call myself the right hand woman because I'm there with them from the very beginning, where we're brainstorming together on what they expect to get out of their retreat all the way until when they get back from hosting the retreat. So I pride myself on being an advocate for my retreat leaders from the very beginning all the way to the end when they've stepped back foot into the US.
Wow. That's, I mean, all of the steps that you've talked about, I mean, it just shows how closely you work. And I think that's something that's important that people, again, we might say, I don't know, Aaron, this might not be for me. It just seems like a big ask, right? A big undertaking. And it sounds like, right. It can be, but you've done it. You've got a process. So let's let you handle that undertaking. And then, we'll again, make sure we get people there, what we're going to be doing there, kind of itinerary and marketing, like you said. But of those 8 steps, you're really responsible for 3 is what I heard, right? The itinerary, marketing, and enjoying yourself. I can do that.
Correct. The last one's easy.
Yeah. Can I just sign up?
Speaking of excursions, I'm pretty sure I could actually teach the one about how to roll cigars and how to make coffee.
Okay. I like that. I'm down for that.
Huh. All right. So, okay. So let's talk about this. Again, I got excited about this, but I still got some trepidation. What advice would you give somebody that's like, okay, I think I'm ready to take this step, but this is my first international retreat, still a little bit scared?
Okay. So I always ask my retreat leaders when I'm chatting with them and doing a discovery call, or even just when I meet someone, are you ready to put together a retreat now? And usually their answer is nope. Then my next question is, because I love to turn no's into yeses. Well, will you be ready in a year to a year and a half from now? So usually their answer is yes. So my recommendation, start the planning process early. All the logistics are going to take a good amount of time to put together. So always start early. I do also recommend working with a travel agent. You can work with me or anyone locally that you know. As us as travel agents, we know the ins and outs when it comes to the best locations. We can coordinate the flights for all of your attendees, and we make sure that the process is seamless for you as the retreat leader.
Nice. Okay.
Love it.
So real quick, this is again just off target. We put the outline together to keep us on track, and it still doesn't work, Amanda. So,
All good.
Yeah. Terry and this is a buddy of mine, but Terry's been able to meet Doug before. And he's actually developing a property in St. Croix right now. So that brought up a question for me. Like when we talk about international retreats, so the U.S. Virgin Islands, you don't necessarily have to have a passport to go there. Is that still
Correct.
in your mind an international retreat to go somewhere like that?
So there's not a whole lot of all-inclusives in the United States, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
Like even Hawaii doesn't have all-inclusives. Now that is an option. It probably is going to be a little bit more on the costly side because you're going to have to factor in probably bringing in a chef or, figuring out the restaurants, all the things, losing my voice a little bit there. So that is an option. I do work with my clients for that as well. And I even do work with clients locally, but the best one to do is doing something that's an all-inclusive resort because it's the most simple. You're getting to stay at a beautiful resort that's right there on the beach. Most of them are on the beach. And then again, you don't have to deal with all of the people that have, the different food allergies and intolerances. And if they have a disability, that's all handled by the resort, which is so nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right. So Doug, you just make sure that you make it all inclusive and then we'll work it out. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Doug, I know Doug can make drinks. I don't know if he can cook a meal, but
we have a couple drinks.
So Amanda, how can our listeners find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram or Facebook or even LinkedIn at Across the Horizon Travel. So you can check out my website at www.acrossthehorizontravel.com. You can email me at acrossthehorizontravel@gmail.com. Or you can shoot me a text or even call me at 309-202-3519. I have multiple avenues of ways for people to reach me, whatever works best for you.
Wow. So she's not hard to reach, folks.
No.
So, and like I said, it's always been a real pleasure to talk to her. So if you're thinking about any of this, just reach out. You're going to have a great conversation no matter what. So it's a good use of your time.
Thank
Awesome.
you. Appreciate that, Aaron.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Well, by the way, will I see you tomorrow?
Yes, you will.
Awesome. All right, cool. Okay. Well, anything we missed, Amanda? Anything that stands out that maybe we need to cover before we let you get out of here? Any last minute tips?
Last minute tip. If you're thinking about this and you're kind of on the fence, please reach out to me or reach out to a travel agent because a lot of travel agents do this as well. Okay. So reach out to your local travel agent or reach out to me. Would love to just set up a time to chat. Awesome. Just talking doesn't cost you anything. So just chat. I can help ease any of your worries or concerns. And this is a way for you to be able to have a free trip and be able to either get closer to your clientele to be able to grow your business or to really entice your sales team to grow and to want to make your business just flourish in 2025 or 2026.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Love it. Okay.
Well,
Amanda,
Amanda, thanks so much.
Yeah, it's been great. Great conversation.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Awesome.
Aaron, when we were having this conversation, I was thinking about two different people in our industry that went on trips like this for being top salesmen, and not my company, but
are you going to send this over to Harry afterwards and say, hey,
hey, did you watch this
show? Yeah, you need to sign up right away. You can get your free trip, Harry. I know you'll love that. All right.
But, and I as I mentioned, my boys and I stayed all over the Caribbean. And one time we didn't do the all-inclusive. We'll never do that again. I mean, you just walk into a restaurant, get whatever you want. Midnight, they always have a sports bar you can go in and grab a hot dog and and a beer, and so it's just it's an awesome, relaxing experience. So
yeah, for sure. All right, well, great conversation with Amanda. Thank you, Terry, and thank you, Amanda, for your time and all of that great information. Terry, what is coming up for you? What's Big Book of Travel telling us these days?
All right. My complete screen printing business course. I'm going to be in Chicago next weekend, I guess, August 3rd and 4th at Atlas Screen Supply. Not sure if that one is, they haven't told me it's sold out yet. So there's probably at least a couple of seats left, maybe. My workhorse class here in Phoenix is August 24th and 25th. I schedule the folks in that class, and it is filling up. If anybody wants to come to Phoenix, Arizona in August, it's been over 110 degrees here every day for the last month.
It should cool down by then. You guys are getting it early.
It'll cool down in August.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody about Phoenix last night, though, Terry. I hate to interrupt, but it's different. Like, even when I was a kid growing up there, we had the same temperatures. We didn't have air conditioning. We had an evaporative cooler, a swamp cooler, we called it.
Right.
And it was fun. Right. And so even sitting out on the patio, they got the misters going. 110 is fine as long as you're not out in the sun.
Yeah. Well, Aaron, and I don't know if people who haven't been here believe it or not, but if it's 100 degrees outside, you can drive around with your windows down and you won't break a sweat because it's so dry. So,
for sure.
As we always say, until it's 115, then it's just hot.
Yeah. And just stay inside at that point. Yeah. But the class is inside, it's air conditioned. It's so
exactly.
Yeah, it'll be a great
I just
class.
have to remind people, make sure you're drinking water. Don't forget. Everybody have a water?
Yeah, get a water. That's a good point. All right.
I am going to be at Fort Worth, October 24th through 26th at Impressions Expo. I'm going to be doing a seminar on DTG and DTF printing. I will be I've got these in the wrong order now. I'll be in the Equipment Zone booth at Printing United in Las Vegas, September 10th through 12th. And Aaron, you and I are going to be doing our podcast on the first morning right before the show opens. Yep. And we'll probably record that because the internet is always horrible inside convention centers.
Yep.
And you can watch for all my upcoming events at terrycombs.com. How about you, Aaron?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm excited about Printing United. It is funny because it's switched this year from Fort Worth. Normally Fort Worth is before Printing United. So
it's throwing me off a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mentioned we saw earlier with the little promotion that my wife and I had, that online program called Breaking Barriers. And just again, a reminder that investment's only $47 and it could change your business. So just go to osg.link/unlock. The introductory price is only good until the end of the month, but once you sign up for it, it's yours for life. So even if you don't have time to go through it right now, that's fine. Just sign up for it. Save that. It's $79 normally. So, decent little savings there. The other program that I'm excited about coming up here, just kind of going to be a fun program, but I think there's going to be a lot of good information here. So it is called the Entrepreneur Summit 7. And the guy that puts this on, big Star Wars guy, he's hilarious. I've really enjoyed getting to know him, but it's called the Summit Awakens. And it really is just there's, I think, about 15 to 20 presenters there. We're doing 10, 15-minute little quick hits, lots of interaction with people. It's happening Thursday, August 8th. And it goes from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. Eastern time. So it is a virtual summit, so you can join from anywhere. There's no charge to join. I will be presenting a topic myself called the simple act of working on your business, really kind of just bringing, a couple key points that you can take away, and we'll be talking about it. So I'm going to be on at 1:30 Eastern time. And if you want to get signed up, just go over to osg.link/nerd. Again, completely free. So it's worth signing up, even if you can't quite make it. Just sign up just in case. So check that one out. And then the other program that I wanted to share, on September 5th, I'm hosting a masterclass with my mentor, Dale. And this is for any business owner of any type of business who are ready to make more profits with fewer sales. If you want to be able to answer these questions, what do you specifically do, which is really the answer to what problem do you solve for your customers. And then you want to answer the question, who are your ideal customers specifically? And what do your ideal customers value? And ultimately, what is your value to them in dollars and cents, right? Charging the right price. So this is going to be a 4-hour masterclass on September 5th, and you're going to come away with the ability to answer all of those questions. So if you are ready to attract more ideal customers, set the right price, and enjoy more profitable relationships with less work, I don't know who's not interested in that, but sign up now. You go to osg.link/profit. We are limiting the class size to 6 people, so you're going to receive very personalized support and guidance. So make sure you secure your spot now so you're able to join this masterclass. I don't want you to miss out. I don't want you to call me up later and go, "Oh, Aaron, I didn't get a chance. I missed. I'm number 7. Can you fit me in?" Sorry, not happening. We want to keep committed people is what we're looking for, and those are the people who are going to sign up. And then last but not least, make sure that you are checking out our Facebook group. And this Facebook group is, if you're a business owner, you want to be in this group. Lots of great perspective questions, discussions about more than just surface level stuff. So we've made a short link for you to be easy to access. So just go to osg.link/group. Awesome. And so, yeah, there we go.
Well, since you're going to be doing secret sauce, let me read everything that Eric has here. Check out ericccampbell.com.
I did update that for him because the poor guy is just running ragged and been busy with a bunch of stuff there in Brilliance, but now he's actually taking his wife on a trip this weekend, and so we were like, Eric, fantastic, just go take care of that, dude. We got you. And so just head over to ericccampbell.com. I don't believe the take up is happening today. I haven't seen any notifications on that, but that's my guess at this point. But he's got 200 and some odd episodes that are all about an hour and a half long. Amazing information.
They're all there.
yeah, they're there. So, and then quickly, Terry, Doug asked a question: when are you in Vegas? Are you both there? And the answer is
yes, we are both there, right?
Yep.
I'm there.
we are both there. I'm actually going to be in there the day before, actually, Terry, because I'm emceeing Media Day.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. I'm going to be there. I get there the morning of the 9th on Monday, and which is also setup day. And then I'm leaving Thursday night, do a little help tearing down the booth, but heading back from to Phoenix so I can be at work on Friday.
There you go. Awesome. Well, I'll be there on the 8th and probably leaving on the 12th. Not real sure. Maybe staying into the weekend. We haven't figured that part out. But so September 8th, or for me, September 8th through the 12th. The show's the 10th through the 12th.
Right.
So there you go. Doug, did we answer your question? All right. Let me make sure I push the right buttons here, Terry, because I've got some secret sauce for everybody. If you're ready for that, Terry.
Let's hear or see it or taste it.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, everybody. Well, welcome into today's Secret Sauce episode. We're going to dive into the world of faceless video content. So even if you're camera shy, right? A lot of times when I talk to people, hey, you need to be doing more videos. Oh, I can't put my face on video, right? Well, we can still create some videos where you're going to make an impact on your marketing by taking some of these tips. So today I'm going to share the top 3 types of videos you can create today and never have to put your face on screen. You never have to look at this, right? So number 1, and I'm going to try to push buttons and talk at the same time. I'm not as good at that as Eric is, but we'll do our best here. Okay, number 1, an unboxing video. So these videos, it's all about the suspense and the excitement of revealing a new product. So you're going to focus your camera on the product as you unbox it. And that's keeping all eyes on that product, the thing that matters most there. So imagine unboxing the latest gadget or new product that you've got brought into your business to make you more productive. And then you can guide your viewers through each of its features and why it's important to them, and they'll be able to share that excitement of discovering that with you. And even if you don't have hey, Aaron, I haven't bought any new toys. I can't afford that yet. Well, if you don't have any new toys coming, you can still simulate the experience your customers might have when they unbox your product. So share your latest or hottest product and how they might expect to receive that in the mail to get them excited about going and placing an order on their own. So that's number one. Number two is a time-lapse video, right? So a time-lapse video is a powerful tool that basically condenses hours of work into just a few engaging minutes, whether it's creating a product from scratch or even the mundane of organizing your workspace can be very engaging on a time-lapse video, right? I see a lot of people posting before and after pictures of their spaces. Well, why not take a time-lapse video of that whole thing? And these videos compress the time and show the progress in a really dynamic and fascinating way. So it's not really necessarily about showing the end product, but you certainly want to do that. It's about kind of celebrating the journey along the way. So your customers or potential customers get to see rapid transformation and all the hard work that you put into the back end like that. And because it goes like that, you almost look superhuman and your customers go, oh, wow, that's really valuable what they do. All right. And then last but not least here is a behind the scenes video. So everyone loves the peek behind the curtain, right? It's human nature. I know you've seen The Wizard of Oz, right? We want to see the man behind the curtain. So this type of video takes your audience into your daily life of your business, even in the mundane to maybe some of the extraordinary moments, right? So show them a day in your production facility, set up for a big event. Maybe you're going out and going to do an event this weekend. Well, give them that behind the scenes look of what you're doing and why. And hey, come check me out at the local fair, right? And you can do that while showing the front of things, not the selfie view back into your face, right? So it's all about kind of creating that personal connection and giving viewers a raw, kind of unfiltered look at what goes into making your business tick. And again, your face doesn't need to be on screen to achieve this goal. So there's 3 powerful faceless video ideas that can transform how you engage with your audience: unboxing, time-lapse, behind the scenes videos. They each have their own unique charm and can be tailored to suit your marketing strategy. Make these videos and watch that content come to life, all, again, important part, without having to step in front of the camera. So I do also invite you real quick, and I'm going to see if I can get this link on there. Keep an eye on my blog over at oursuccessgroup.com/blog. Tomorrow, I will be releasing a blog post over there that will include these 3 ideas plus 4 more. So it's called 7 Great Video Ideas, and you don't even have to show your face. So check that out over on my blog there tomorrow, oursuccessgroup.com/blog. And Terry, that is my secret sauce for today.
Those are great ideas. Good job.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I get that all the time, right? I talk to people. I work with folks in our success group when we're talking about marketing and how can we get more engagement. And it's like, oh, we do a video. Like, well, Aaron, you do 3 live videos a week, 4 live videos a week. So I don't want to put my face on screen. Okay, you don't have to. Here's some ways. So it just came from that conversation that I get to have a lot. So, all right. Well, Terry, it's been a great show. We really appreciate Amanda and her time and all the great information. I know kind of strayed a little bit from our decorating world, but I think, again, there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of ideas there. And just thinking about the way that she brought stuff to us too, I think we can learn from that as well. So great information today, Terry. Did I lose you?
Yeah, I think it's on my end. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't talking while muted. You didn't start speaking Spanish, so.
No, I think it was on my end. It's funny. Jay Bassell, who also lives here in Phoenix, he goes, "Is your internet going crazy over the last week or so?" Yes. So.
Well, real quick, and we're not into bonus time yet. This is actually kind of going on in a lot of places. My son, according to YouTube University, believes that we are currently experiencing higher than normal solar flares due to some corona type thing, not the coronavirus, but something going on in the sun. And so it does interfere more with Wi-Fi signals typically than most times. So that's
interesting.
Yeah, interesting for sure.
Yeah.
From the mouth of a 13-year-old on YouTube.
There you go. There you go. Eric's not here today, but we want to thank him for everything he does. And hopefully you guys are having a great weekend away.
Yep, indeed. So, Terry, next week, as we talked with Cass, we're kind of kicking off Printing United stuff, but this is a special one. We're going to bring on Lizbeth Lyons Black, who's going to be joining us to talk about the Women in Print Alliance. So Lizbeth works with the Printing United team, but she's also the coordinator, the liaison for the Women in Print Alliance. And we've had Women in Print Alliance folks on, like Ann Crum and some other folks like that. Kristen was with us. So this is a really cool program, and they got some really cool stuff coming up here at Printing United. So if you're, and here's what I love about being the Two Regular Guys podcast and being able to highlight stuff like this is, as a guy, I learned so much from this stuff, right? And we learn how to better support everybody and to just make our industry a better place. So come all next week to learn from Lizbeth.
Fantastic. Until then, I'm Terry Combs. He's Aaron Montgomery.
And that was the Two Regular Guys.
Here we go. We're out.
Awesome.
Thank you for listening to Two Regular Guys. Check out our website at tworegularguys.com. That's the number 2, regularguys.com. You can also interact with us over at our Facebook page, facebook.com/tworegularguys, or send us a tweet, twitter.com/tworegularguys. And we have a YouTube page. You can find all that from our website, tworegularguys.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to spending some time with you again next week.